The Dark Fleet caper exposes growing risk in the crowded Malacca Straits. This is from Bloomberg and it was published on July 22, 2024. A collision that set two vessels ablaze off Singapore has underlined the growing risk in the crowded Straits of Malacca. As the Dark Fleet expands and a lackluster Chinese demand for oil leaves dozens of tankers idling. The Series 1, a 23-year-old crude oil tanker, and the NF Nile, a refined product tanker, collided early on Friday morning in one of the world's busiest waterways. Series 1 then fled the scene with the help of two tugboats before being intercepted off Malaysia. The incident ended without tragedy, with both crews accounted for and limited environmental damage. But the likelihood of a different outcome is rising, not only because more uninsured aging vessels are passing through the straits, but because dozens of these ships are circling in the same waters. Their transponders are often switched on and off, making their movements harder to track. Currently, there is a cluster of about 30 aging tankers east of Malaysia, all bearing the hallmarks of shadow fleet vessels, built at least 2 decades ago. Many find it difficult to access ports because of pollution risk. For more than 2/3 of these carriers, no insurer is identified on the international shipping databases. The waters east of Malaysia, the trade lane connecting Asia to the world's major petroleum exporters, have long been a hotspot for dark fleet activity. Clandestine ship-to-ship transfers of oil from one vessel to another are regularly carried out to obscure the origins of shipments. Vessels also tend to wait in the calm waters between assignments or when demand slows. But the number of older tankers has increased significantly over recent years as Western sanctions prompt Iran, Russia, and Venezuela to find alternatives to mainstream vessels and service providers. While the current flotilla is not at its largest size when compared to recent months, its existence and persistence is indicative of the increasing congestion in the straits. A majority are very large crude carriers or VLCCs, the industry's biggest class of oil tanker. Shipbrokers said the freight market for dark fleet vessels has softened in recent weeks due to an oversupply of ships. 30 idling carriers are part of a larger group totaling almost 50 anchored in the area. Singapore and Malaysia both had several oil warnings of late. Last year, an explosion on board an aging oil tanker Pablo ripped its deck off like a sardine can and began a fire that sent black plumes of smoke into the sky. Had it been laden with its most recent cargo, that would have been a major spill. A minor collision in Singapore's port last month created the worst oil spill in over a decade. This dark fleet is a growing problem, no doubt about that. No insurance alone is a major issue, I would think. But if you ever get the chance to fly over the Straits of Malacca on the south side of Singapore into Malaysia, it is amazing to see on a nice clear day. There are ships everywhere, hundreds of them over a very large area. Ships of every shape, size, and color you can imagine, all sitting on anchor waiting for their next assignment. It really is something to see. I haven't seen it in about 10 years. It seems to be a lot bigger now, but when I was there, it really was something to see. Absolutely amazing.